Well, hello. It's a beautiful day here in Colorado, and I'm really excited to share with you today a topic that has been coming up more and more, not only in my spheres, but I've been seeing it in the media. Hey, Shelley, I've been seeing it in, you know, just a wider frame of how do we think about how to embrace our differences. And that's when I came up with this morning the question, I don't agree with you, now what? And it can be we're now in a world that to become okay, we have to think the same. And it is a very difficult thing being in business, being a professional speaker, being a coach, being in anything we do with the general public. Because if everyone has to be the same, now we are polarizing. How are we pushing people away just because of our personal belief systems? It could be political, it could be religion, gender, race. I remember growing up in high school, and this is going to tell a little bit, hey Pat, a little bit about how old I am, but Black History Week was just being instigated or instituted into the society. And hi, Andrea. Um, you know, and it was something so brand new. We were having riots. We were having people being so threatened by the concept of acknowledging a Black History Week that people just were just they the anxiety around it created so much fear. And I remember I played football in high school, and the football players all came together, and I played at Palm Springs High. And you'd think in a more of a vacation spot, we wouldn't have as much turmoil, but we did. And we had our football players, our team was made up of Caucasian, African American, and Hispanic players. And what we did is we paired up and escorted the teachers to class so they wouldn't have this violence around them. We made sure the school stayed open. And it wasn't about being a particular race, it was about being football players. That's all we saw in each other, and we're still friends because it was something that brought us together as a commonality instead of looking at what the differences were. And I believe that people connect with me not because of a particular belief, but because of something that I have that they're needing and wanting in their business or in their life. And I don't want to polarize. I want to bring people into a place that is safe for them, that can be accepted. And I have become so much of I call it becoming Switzerland, because my job is to connect and support. And so I came up with three things as far as really how to bring our community more together rather than doing the polarizing that has been happening. And the first thing is that as we interact with people, is that they may be espousing a belief that not necessarily is yours, but understand, and this is where the active listening that I teach about comes into play. Listen for the pain, listen for what is underneath the words. And when we hear that, then we're being able to connect and being able to facilitate whatever that ability we have, or in order to ourselves give that connection, or to be able to connect them with the resource that they're wanting. And I really don't believe that when we are connecting with someone that we're going to be able to change their minds. And that's something that has really happened with the arrival of social media, to where we can maybe even ambush people with thoughts and ideas. But I really hesitate to even embrace the concept that I can convince someone through social media to my way of thinking. And then the other side of it is, do I have the right to do that anyway? So listening for the fear, or the pain, which is also then connected to the fear. And so because of that, then we can connect to our commonalities instead of our differences. The second thing is to support without conforming. If there's an idea or a concept that someone has that you don't attach to, we can still support them in their belief and in their awareness of where they are and what they're wanting out of the connections they have. But we don't have to conform, and that's something that we can still have our own independent ideas and beliefs without having to really be a fake out there to where everybody thinks that we agree with them, but yet we can be neutral. And in that support, that's what they're wanting from us, more than likely anyway. And then embrace people as people, not ideologies. This is something that is really tough to do because we all have our biases and we all have our agendas and we have these ideas that we've been brought up with, of right, wrong, good, and bad. But when we really get down to it, we're all human beings, and how do we support each other as that? You know, in my community, we have people, Gurleen, I don't know if you're watching yet, but Gurleen's in India. And then we have individuals in 5 or 6 different countries that are part of our community, and sometimes it's a different religion, sometimes it's a totally different impact of what they're dealing with in their situation that I might not even have an awareness of what that is like for them. And so when we deal with each other as human beings, as people, and we are able to look at them in a way that, in a total, I would say a neutral way, and it's about how we support them and what it is that we can do to enhance that synergy of becoming we can still be different without being the same and still be a community. And that's really what I'm looking for, and what I've been seeing around the world is we have a community of people that are organically coming together and like-minded as far as the purpose, but still have our differences, and that acceptance of those differences is what makes us whole. So, it's a little more of a philosophical talk today, but, as we build our businesses, as we create communities, as we build our spheres of influence, it is about that understanding and embracing the differences that makes the magic happen. And so, thank you everybody for coming on. And this is a little bit of a risk for me because I could be opening up Pandora's box as well. But I think that the community that we have, you guys are already doing a lot of this. And the more that we share that we can be, accepted while being different, and being different is okay. My wife is a psychotherapist, and she deals with a community that a lot of people would say they are different. And she coined a phrase, different by design. And when we accept that and that uniqueness that we each have to bring to the table, again, magic happens. So I will be with you again. I apologize for last week. We had a new granddaughter that showed up. I believe it's going to be the only one, or the last grandchild. Everybody is kind of done now. And so I took the day off, and it was really a neat day. So with that, we'll be together again next week on Thursday. I wish you a fantastic week. And, please reach out. Let's start a conversation, not only with me back and forth, but with those that are coming on the Facebook Lives, and build that synergy, build that conversation where we can understand each other on a deeper level. So I appreciate you again. Thank you so much. And with that, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.